filthy fingers said it all. Yeah. Give it. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. He's lazy, I said, oh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. He said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Alright, give it to me, yeah. Alright, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on. Well, he said, give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Give me some love, give me some love, give it all. Baby, give me some love now. Well, na 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 na.
This is what I want now. No, I won't settle for anything else. I can't keep pretending. It's not getting to me. It's never ending. Can't give you what you need. Oh no, no. You're misbehaving. Yeah, it's getting to me. It's never ending. You can give You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face, you're sorry. I quit my job for you, even quit some friends for you, 'cause you couldn't stand it, me all independent, so you had to have me for yourself. That was when I trusted you, when I could add up 2 and 2, when you promised we'd be together, you, me, forever. Now there's nothing left to lose. And though I understand it's hard sometimes to make up your mind in these trying times, yeah, I just can't accept you leaving me when I'm overseas with the heart so heavy. Think that I deserve the truth for once, not a guilty tone, 'cause you're not alone, yeah. You said you wanna come home, but I know you don't. So this time I won't hear it on the phone. If you got something to say to me, then say it to my face, what it's all about, why you're bailing out. Think you owe me an apology, just say it to my face, you're sorry. You're so sorry. You're so sorry. Say it to my face, you're sorry. The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
From COVID-19 cases to federal court cases, let's discuss all of the political implications of the decisions that are being made as it pertains to our lives and our bodies. We begin this morning with On the Clock with Georgia Ford.
We take a look this morning at the case of Kelsey Rayner, who died in Baxley, Georgia, while incarcerated. We're going to hear from his family this morning, what they had to say at a recent press conference about the case. But first, I do want to let you guys know that there's some graphic content that we're going to be covering this morning. So if you are triggered easily or don't want to be exposed to that, you can look away. Of course, we want you to stay with us, but if that's going to be challenging for you, we totally understand, and we'll be on to another topic in about 15 minutes. The reason why it is so important this morning to take a look at these images and this footage from inside a jail in Baxley, Georgia, is because the family of Kelsey Rayner believe it. As you see here, you can see that. And yet he did not receive the medical attention he needed. And so he died in his jail cell back in 2017. The other piece to this case that has the family asking a lot of questions is about the district attorney who has been involved, who was also involved in the case of Ahmaud Arbery. Jackie Johnson, who also was accused of not pursuing charges because the person who was involved in Ahmaud Arbery's death was one of her former employees. Well, a similar sentiment has arisen in this case, where one of the people working in the jail that did not give Mr. Rayner proper medical attention was also her former employee. Ben, before we dive into this, I want you guys to take a listen at what his family had to say at a recent press conference.
We don't have that. That's the only clip. The quality was bad.
Oh, okay. So we're actually going to pivot now to inside the jail cell. There was some surveillance that was captured of Mr. Rayner as he was dying in his jail cell. Take a look.
He was laying on the floor. He was actually on his knees with his face down. And I had Sergeant Downey to check on him, make sure he was all right, make sure he was breathing. At no point through the night did he ever notify us that there was anything wrong with him.
Later, but when I did go, I can't remember the time, me and Griffiths went and stayed together to check on him. The CDC would get up off the floor. He didn't get up, so we just left him right there because, there's no policy saying he can't be on the floor.
Kept monitoring him throughout the night up till the incident. And I turned the intercom system on just to be able to hear him, see if he was still making noises. As long as he was making noises, it comforted me to know he was all right. He moved to his final position. He just laid on his back, and I could see that he was breathing or saying something, but all I could really see was the white of his teeth, and that's how I knew his mouth was opening and closing.
With the way that looks, but his stomach was very swollen, which was the first thing that I noticed when I walked in the door, and it was not like, you have people that have, got a little belly on him, but it would have been, he's about your build, but if you stuck a basketball under your shirt, it was very round. He was not just fat. Okay. And when I spoke with the nurse, she said that was not normal for him, that he's normal. He's a pretty average built guy.
We're still learning more details about this case, Ben, and there is a lot of documentation that we've tried to sift through. This came across our desks just last night. Ben, what comes up for you as you're looking at that footage and as you're learning more about Kelsey Rayner?
Georgia, good morning. This is a difficult case, and it's a case that we've seen replicated across the country. And while I am personally, these are the stories that are so difficult for me to be a part of for so many people. And I appreciate you carrying the load on this because it's a story that needs to be reported on. It is a story that people need to hear because it has been something that this family has been fighting for a long time. And unless we're able to shine light on it through the media and quite honestly, we live in a graphic society. And it is the images that often jar us into action. But this is just another injustice that happens in our system so many times.
You know, Ben, and the questions that come up, right? There was an autopsy done that says that Mr. Rayner died from sepsis based on having a ruptured colon. And there was also another piece of information that we came across saying that he was supposed to have gotten a test on July 22nd in order to test his liver. And on July 25th, he still had not gotten that medical attention that had been, brought to the people who were working in the jail. So July 22nd, there was an order for him to get that test, and it never happened. And so when you look at these inconsistencies, also for those of you asking, why was he in jail? According to the Associated Press, he was in jail for misdemeanor charges for harassing phone calls and disorderly conduct. That is according to Associated Press. Also, according to them, they say that he had been diagnosed with depression and as well as bipolar disorder. And so someone who goes into jail with that type of diagnosis is actually checked on every 31, rolling around on the floor. You could see these officers covering their noses, likely because his colon had ruptured. And you could smell it. And so if you are going in there every 30 minutes and you see this man in pain and agony, why do you not offer medical attention? And let's be clear, that is the law. When people are incarcerated, it is their responsibility to render aid to the people who are in their care.
That's right. All right, that's right, Georgia, and we have to be sure. Let's cut to the core of this. The prison industrial complex is about money, but it's also about the cruelty, right? And in this case, it was a game to those officers, to those guards. They were seeing how far they could go and allow this man to suffer before they actually took action. That's what I see when I saw that video. I see that they checked on him. And they saw him in pain, but they did not move into action until it was already too late. And that is a result of the fact that that's how this system is designed. The cruelty is the point.
And what they said when they were interviewed about this case, they said, well, he was breathing, so we didn't think anything was wrong. And so that type of culture, that type of belief system, if an inmate is breathing, then they're fine, means you will not render aid until a person is dead. You will not render aid until a person is no longer breathing. Instead of offering preventative care, instead of taking something that be easily diagnosed and treated with a prescription from a doctor, you will allow somebody's medical health to decline to the point where it results in their death until they're not breathing before you decide to intervene and render aid. And if you ask me, Ben, that is a failure of upholding the law. You are taking a very vulnerable population who is at the mercy of these wardens, and you're taking advantage. You're not upholding your oath or your duty.
Right. That's right. Because it's not enough for them to get the money off of these bodies. They have to get the joy and the sadistic pleasure of causing these people pain. I mean, it's structured in the system. The way they break you when you're entered into the system, the way they break you every step of the way, it is intended to be cruel. And this is one of the reasons there's such a large abolition movement, because these prison cells are nothing more than an extension of slavery. And the money that's being made off of these bodies is obscene. But when we consider the cruelty that goes on in these cages, we really need to take the position of abolition of prisons in general.
Well, and his family is taking the position of filing a wrongful death lawsuit. And I think that, yes, this is a case that happened in 2017, but none of us heard about it. And for one reason or another, this family was not able to move forward in their pursuit pursuit of justice. But now that the district attorney has been called out for her misconduct in the Ahmaud Arbery case, and then learning that the here in this jail were also former employees of hers, has now given forefront and potentially make some progress. Because here's the question. You can look in the video and you can look at the photos after he died and tell that he was in desperate, dire need of medical attention. And so not only did these wardens not uphold their oath, but the question here now is, did they participate in criminal activity? Did they break the law? Should they be held accountable? Does one of the wardens need to be arrested? Another question that came up here was about the fact that should Rayner have been released from jail? There was some documentation that we came across that looked like he had been held 2 days longer than what he should have. And so had he have been released,
he'd be alive.
If he would be able to go get himself medical attention that he needs.
That's right. That's right. Had he been released, had he not been in there in the first place, and we talk about the fact that these were misdemeanors, we talk about the full accountability. I mean, anytime a black person breaks any kind of law of any type, or whether they break it or not, we get the full force of this government coming down on our shoulders. And this is what this brother got. And to add the insult to injury is that they ignored his suffering. They ignored his cries. And because of that, a family has lost a son, and our community has lost a brother, and somebody does need to be held accountable for it.
And according to the Associated Press, his wife lost her husband. You know, and so it breaks my heart that, especially in these situations, you know, Ben, we publish a lot of our stories online. And so you get these trolls who dehumanize and criminalize men like Rayner, who absolutely deserved the medical attention he needed. And so we're going to continue to follow the story. We've reached out to try and see if we can get in touch with the family to have them on here. We definitely want to center their voices at this time. And if nothing else, just send our condolences and our prayers for their pursuit for justice. Ben, I know that you've been tracking a story this morning as well.
Yeah, Georgia, I'm following up on a story out of Texas. Now, there are two major stories coming out of Texas. There was the school shooting yesterday where multiple people were injured, and we are going to cover portions of that later on as it pertains to Senator Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott, who both used this tragedy in Texas as a way to deflect from the pain that families went through, parents went through, finding out that their children were engaged in an active shooter scenario yesterday. The governor of the state and the Republican governor and the Republican senator decided to make this about Joe Biden instead, and about border security instead. So we're going to be covering that story in the next couple of segments. But there's something that you covered yesterday that also came back to my attention. In Texas, there was a major oil leak. There's a refinery leak that is going on right now, and it reminded me of the coverage that you were giving yesterday from Huntington Beach, the catastrophic oil leak that's taking place in California. What you're seeing on your screen now is a result of an oil leak that is happening in Texas. Now, while the one that's happening in Texas is not nearly as bad as what we saw in California, it is just another piece of evidence in the ongoing problem of our environment as we try to grapple with energy. What is the energy future of this country going to look like? Because if we continue down the path that we're on, Georgia, it seems like every week we are having to cover some type of oil pipeline that breaks, some type of catastrophe that has happened at an oil rig. We've seen the images coming out of the Gulf of Mexico where the water was literally on fire. And so this is just another piece of evidence and a long string of evidence that says that we have to have a solution in this country as it pertains to our energy problems. But the solution is not in what we're currently doing, because what we're doing, as you've covered and as we've covered, we've spoken with the Line 3 protesters. We've spoken with so many people. What we're currently doing is untenable for the environment. And it seems, Georgia, that there are just so many politicians who not only don't care, but are actively distracting from the problems that we're having right now.
Well, and I would add even to that the media has been a problem in this issue as well. As a journalist, we are trained to tell both sides of the story. And for decades, when you started talking about climate change in the newsroom, you were told to tell both sides. And instead of looking at the facts, looking at the science, and looking at the reality, you had voices that were centered on that issue that shouldn't have been centered. There's not two sides to a fact. And so when media puts that other side out there, that climate change isn't real, it's just now that I think newsrooms are starting to realize you can't deny it anymore, that they realize their error. And it's a grave error that they have perpetuated for decades. And I look at these oil spills as an extension of that, because you have to understand the impact that it has on our climate, on our environment, to have thousands of gallons of oil spill into the ocean, affect the wildlife, kill the wildlife, and what that does to our entire ecosystem.
That's right. That's right. That's right. All for the sake of technology that is certainly going the way of the dinosaur, no pun intended. We are not going to have a future that is based in fossil fuels. But we have an industry right now that is strangleheld by the most powerful companies, these oil companies that are able to buy politicians, to buy them at discount, to buy them at wholesale, because they have enough money to do so. And see, this is why we have no forward progress on actually doing something to protect this environment for our future. And a lot of times these stories get looked over. You're absolutely right, Georgia. It is a media problem. But I wonder if it would be a media problem if people really took in consideration that this is it. This is the whole ball game. This is our only planet. There is no plan B. There's no planet B. And if we don't take care of it, then I think a lot of people may think we have enough time for us to live our lives out. But what does that say about us if we're only concerned about our generation living our lives out, and we don't leave a planet for our children to inhabit?
Well, because for some people, there is a plan B. For some people, they have traveled to another planet, and they absolutely have the resources to be able to abort planet Earth. And so they don't have to face the realities that we have to face. Their destination can carry them to another planet because they have millions and billions of dollars. But the reality of it is, Ben, that you have to be a good steward of what you have. You can have an abundance of wealth and you can have enough money to carry you into another planet. But if you don't have the character and morale or the integrity to be a good steward of what you have, if it is in your heart and your ability to make choices that would allow you to abort a whole planet and leave millions of people behind, guess what? The same thing is going to happen when you get to the next planet, because your greed is going to drive your decisions, and you're not going to care about your resources or your environment or anything or anyone around you. Right. And so it feels as though the few who are in power, this isn't their only option. And so they're not faced with the severity of their consequences. They don't have to live with their consequences. We do. Yeah. Yeah. And what's sad about it is that that's a gross miscalculation on their part, right? Because there's no amount of wealth that is going to replace the collective power of what we do, not only on this planet, but what we do with each other. But you're absolutely right, Georgia. There are so many people. And actually, let me fix that qualifier. There are a handful of extremely wealthy people in this country who believe they have enough wealth to be able to go at it alone. And I think that's part and parcel of what we're seeing with this pandemic as well, because there's a level of casual disregard with life in general that is consistent with the disregard for the environment. And it only adds up to
to say that not only do they not care about protecting the environment, but they are actively trying to create the situations that are going to get a lot of us killed. And the folks who are going to be hurt the most are absolutely going to be the poor, marginalized, particularly Black communities. And we talk about environmental justice all the time. These things have ramifications in terms of our health. There's so many young people who are being born, Black people born in with asthma because of the conditions in their immediate environment. And we don't talk about these issues because they're not glamorous and they don't get a lot of clicks. But we have to, because it is in fact affecting our community.
And there's so many layers. I mean, if you eat crab, shrimp, fish, your food has been polluted. Right? This is the ocean where a lot of our seafood comes from. And when you look at also, in addition to that, the number of fishermen who make their livelihoods on the ocean. When the BP oil spill happened, there were a group of Black oystermen who had been using the ocean as a way to make a living for decades. And that was taken from them. It was totally, there was no more oysters after the oil spill. They all died. And so their livelihood was ruined. They didn't have any way to pay their rent. And this was documented in a film that was commissioned by Ava DuVernay. And so they had to sue BP and go, in this years-long battle with the city councilors, state government, in order to get any compensation for what happened. And so it's frustrating when you see these huge corporations like Amplify in California or BP in Louisiana, who are responsible for these oil spills, and they don't actually have to pay up, right? What is the real consequence? They pay a fine to the government. Maybe if there are people who have been affected that have the legal resources to pursue a lawsuit against them, maybe they get compensated years later. But how do you compensate for the environmental damage? Because I don't know an amount of money that can repair the amount of sea life that is killed or crops that are not able to be produced. What is the monetary value that you put on that?
Well, I mean, actually, there is a monetary. I understand exactly what you're saying, but it's their quarterly profit margins. We saw Marathon on our screen, right? You mentioned the two companies, the company in Huntington Beach from yesterday. When you mentioned BP, these companies, a lot of them have a very clear understanding of the damage that they're doing to the environment. They've read the research. And in some cases, there has been opposition research funded by energy companies to muddy the waters, because they know full well what they are doing to the environment and the ramifications in the long run. So it's almost like they've made the cost benefit analysis and they said, you know what, this quarterly profit margin is far more important than the long term health of the environment of this planet and the generations to come. And they make that calculation over and over again every single day.
And look at that oil just seeping out. At what point is this going to be considered criminal? When you are responsible for, in California, we're talking over 100,000 gallons of oil.
That's right.
When you're responsible for that, especially when your corporation has received over 100 fines in the last decade, 100 violations, at what point are these corporations going to be criminally liable? Because if you ask me, that's criminal.
That's right.
It's criminal that you ignore the citations, the violations. When you look at that, you can tell that there has been erosion on that structure. And that doesn't just happen overnight. You mean to tell me when you had inspections, you didn't see it? Or wait, you saw it and it just cost too much to fix. And so you put a Band-Aid on it and you put a Band-Aid on it and you put a Band-Aid on it until now you have a crisis. But it doesn't matter because guess what? like you said, your profit, the cost to actually fully fix it would eat so far into your bottom line, whereas the amount of fines that you'll get for having an oil spill would be a softer blow. So it's okay. Right. I'll pay less. The consequence for an oil spill will actually cost me less than fixing the problem in the first place. So who cares if there's an oil spill?
And that's 100% the result of these energy companies owning their own politicians. Just a few more details here, and this is per the Galveston County Daily News. The spill had been contained to an area around the tank and had not escaped into the waterways. However, the oil spill began around 8 a.m. at Marathon Petroleum Corp's Galveston Bay refinery area, and a flange on the side of the tank failed, allowing oil in the tank to start spewing and continue to spew all throughout the day. The leak was still going at about 4 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, more than 6 hours after it began. And you see all of this on your screen now. And Georgia, one last detail here, or one last thing that I want everyone to consider, not particularly a detail, is what you said. These infractions, these warning signs, they are well known by every person who works at these companies, at these refineries. There were memos that went up to the top. There are warning signs, but they honestly, in so many cases, they are ignored for the exact reason that you outlined, because the cost of fixing it oftentimes is far greater than the fine that they would pay. And that's because, well, they lobby the regulators.
And where is the plan? What is your emergency plan? Why isn't there something in place that would allow you to stop that oil spill 20 minutes after it started? How is that spill happening still 6 hours later? Listen, Ben, if I were to go out and kill a dog, right, I would be fined for or arrested for animal cruelty.
That's right.
Why are these corporations not being held responsible for the wildlife that's being killed because of the amount of oil that's entering the ocean? You have fish that are dying, right? If I were to go out and destroy property, I would be fined, right? But, because the land is in a building, because the ground, the soil, the grass is in a building, it doesn't have the same value. But if you go and you ask farmers, if you go and ask people who work in agriculture, it absolutely has tremendous value. In fact, it's how they make their living. And so at what point are these corporations going to be held to the same standard? You're killing wildlife, you're destroying the earth, water, which we all need to drink. At what point are these corporations going to be held responsible?
I hope at some point soon, Georgia, because we see this line of greed, this line of cruelty. We see it running through our prison systems, and those are corporations, right? We want to make sure people understand that the responsibility of imprisoning citizens, we think it's something that the government does, but a lot of times it's private corporations who are making money, profit. And it's the same thing that we're seeing with these oil companies, with these energy companies. It's profit. And there's no lengths that they won't go to ensure their profits. And they do not care about the damage that they're doing and causing to the environment. But if we do not have leadership, regulators, political leaders who are willing to actually hold these wealthy barons accountable, then there probably is no hope, because they have a free-for-all right now where they can make as much money as they can possibly make, and they don't have any responsibility to taking care of the environment.
There's just no integrity there. Ben, what can people look forward to? What's coming up?
Listen, we have a lot of conversations coming up. Coming up at the next segment, Tim Black from Tim Black TV is going to be joining me. We're going to be talking the politics of Joe Manchin and Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders made a very vocal stand against Joe Manchin. And also in the Like It or Not hour at 9 o'clock this morning, we're going to be discussing the actress who plays the role of Shuri from Black Panther, as she has been allegedly going on some anti-vaccination rants on the set of Black Panther 2. So we'll be discussing that with Brother Pascal on Like It or Not, all of that coming up next.
Keep it here for that and more on The Benjamin Dixon Show.
I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, so right now. Say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh, cheers to all the haters, 'cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, it's time to say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh, if you're on the bus, say yeah. If you're on a train, say yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah. Everybody's going somewhere. Young or old, I really don't care. Life has never really been fair. So put your fist up in the air. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time to ride it out. It's your time. Oh.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Thursday, October 7th, 2021, and I am pleased to be joined by someone I quite frankly owe an apology to, because I do believe this is the very first time. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Tim Black. Is this the first time I've had you on my show all the years I've known you?
It is the first time, my brother, but it's all good, brother.
Shame on me. My brother Tim Black from Tim Black TV, a brother who has been in this progressive fight, this black progressive fight, since I have been it. Because quite honestly, we started, I believe we started off about the same time. Is that right?
2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We've been in these streets. So listen, man, thank you for getting up and sharing this time with us this morning. I wanted to bring you in on the conversation because of our boy. Both of us supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. And I believe we both supported him again in 2020 during the primaries. And it turns out that he is one of the best voices in the fight against the filibuster being used by Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, blocking literally all the progress in this country. So I want to play this clip from Bernie Sanders, and then I want to read to you the response from Joe Manchin, and I want to get your thoughts on this whole kerfuffle, if you would. Let's run the clip.
Now, Senator Manchin, as I understand it, talked about today about not wanting to see our country become an entitlement society. Well, I am not exactly sure what he means by that. Does that mean that we end the $300 direct payments for working class parents, which have cut childhood poverty in this country as a result of the American Rescue Plan in half? Is protecting working families and cutting childhood poverty an entitlement? My concern with Mr. Manchin is not so much what his views are. I disagree with him. But it is that it is wrong. It is really not playing fair that one or two people think that they should be able to stop what 48 members of the Democratic caucus want, what the American people want, what the President of the United States wants. Does Senator Manchin believe that we should be the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave, and that working mothers should not be able to stay home with a child who is sick? Are workers not entitled? Millions of seniors in Vermont, in West Virginia, all across this country, have teeth in their mouths that are rotting when they can't afford hearing aids in order to communicate with their grandchildren, and when they can't afford a pair of glasses in order to read a newspaper. Does Senator Manchin really believe that seniors are not entitled to digest their food and that they're not entitled to hear and see properly? Is that really too much to ask? But the time is long overdue for him to tell us with specificity, not generalities. We're beyond generalities. What he wants and what he does not want, and to explain that to the people of West Virginia and America.
All right, we're not even going to go to Joe Manchin yet because the senator, he wants some specificity, Tim Black. What are your thoughts, man? Oh, do we free? Do we? Oh man, I was ready. We'll keep it moving. Let's pull up the tweet then. Let's pull up the tweet from Joe Manchin, his response to Senator Bernie Sanders, and I want to read that for you. And this is what Burgess Everett reported on Twitter. We're going to bring it back on the screen. The back and forth, while it is entertaining and it is good to see Bernie Sanders take Joe Manchin to task, I have to agree with the senator. We're far beyond generalities. We need specificity from Joe Manchin. And this is a response. Manchin fires back at Bernie Sanders' presser saying, quote, "Respectfully, Senator Sanders and I have a very different policy and political belief. Share very different policy and political beliefs. Senator Sanders believes America should be moving towards an entitlement society, while I believe we should have a compassionate and rewarding society." And therein lies the generalities. Brother Tim Black, you're back. You had a chance to hear Bernie Sanders take it to Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin fired back saying that he doesn't want an entitlement society. What are your thoughts, brother?
Appreciate it, man. And it's a pleasure, brother, and an honor. Entitlements, that's a weird word for citizen. I mean, most of us who have been here in this country have paid into a system that is one of the most formidable systems in the world. And the citizenship rights of those citizens should give them access to things such as health care. Wow, what an amazing thing. So when I listen to Joe Manchin talk, man, I got to be frank here, man. He sounds like he's a proxy for Joe Biden. He's a proxy for all the other conservative Democrats. He's a skin job, a doppelganger, a clone, a copy. Remember that movie, Multiplicity, with Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. And I just can't get past that idea, man, that he is saying what others are saying, but he's just the fall guy to do it. And for that, he gets his 15 minutes of fame, because no one, not anyone, should pay attention to Joe Manchin. What I like about what Bernie's doing here is he's making all those people who had a lot to say about you and I supporting him feel bad. I mean, if they have a shred of ethics and
integrity. That's right. He's frozen up again, man. Tim, we're gonna give you a second to get your signal back, man, because I wanted to unpack that a little bit more. But yeah, no, honestly, and I don't want to bring the clip up. I'll let you say it. I'm not gonna dig up old bones about the fight in 2016, but I do want to say that it is good to hear someone speak very firmly and assertively against Joe Manchin without any equivocation. It's necessary. And it's necessary because we're far beyond this game. We don't have time for this game. The way Bernie outlined it is exactly right. Now, let alone the fact that there are young people who are struggling in this economy and in this country who need that kind of assistance, let alone that. But think about the elderly in this country, as Bernie outlined. How many elderly citizens in West Virginia desperately need the packages that are being held up by Joe Manchin? It's an absurdity. It is preposterous, and it is time for more Democrats to come out against Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and not allow them to do exactly what I believe Tim Black was saying, not allow them to simply be a foil, someone who can be the fall guy or the fall woman and take the blame for nothing being done in the past 2 years. In terms of voting rights, our voting rights are being held up. In terms of the judicial appointments, can we really consider what is happening at the Supreme Court level and not believe that it is time to take action against the filibuster? You simply cannot look at what's happening. And while we have had some progress, there was a federal court decision last night that has put a halt to the decision that was made that gave Texas an all but total ban on abortions. And so there was a minor victory last night, but there's still a fight. And that fight is best represented by all of the things that we cannot accomplish because of roadblocks like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and every other Democrat that they truly represent, because I agree, they simply are not there on their own accord, because if we wanted to get something done, rest assured, we would be getting something done. So we're going to hang on. Tim Black will be joined back with us as soon as we can get him back into the conversation. There's one other thing that I want to talk about, and this is with Dr. Fauci. We see the absurdity around us in so many ways. It's manifested not only in our political system, but it's manifesting in COVID-19. And I know that is the understatement of the year. We talk about COVID-19 every single day, but it is a reality that is being exacerbated by the political decisions and by the media. The media who are doing everything they possibly can to undermine, particularly conservative media, specifically Fox News, doing literally everything they possibly can to undermine our vaccination rates. Even undermining our ability to social distance and wear masks. Everything has become anathema to them. Anything that would protect us from COVID-19 has become something that they oppose. And in this next clip, it's from Fox News. And Fox News, their pundit, is attacking Anthony Fauci. Now, this does not mean that Anthony Fauci is above reproach. But folks, come on. Fox News versus Anthony Fauci. Let's take a look at that clip.
To tell me that it's not safe to visit your family for Christmas, to say that now in October, indicates this isn't really about public health at this point. Now we're talking about taking total control. And that's the scary part here. You don't get to decide whether or not I'm going to see my family or friends for any holiday.
If I could just have last Christmas back, I would have seen my dad before he passed on Christmas morning. I'm not taking anybody's word for it. We can all do our parts to keep ourselves safe.
Fauci there, the Constitution matters the most in times of emergency and crisis because that's when the foundation of our country's documents matter the absolute most. And the idea that he's trying to argue to us that we can't celebrate Christmas together, and now he's saying, oh, I didn't say that, but you did say it on CBS. We all heard it. And this is just continuing the madness. And I legitimately wonder, Sean and Kaylee, how many people are listening to Fauci for any element of their life advice of this at this point who still have a functional brain? We had a normal Christmas in my house last year. I've got young kids. Their grandparents didn't want to worry about not seeing them around the Christmas tree. And the idea that there's anybody out there listening to Fauci now about Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's pure, unadulterated madness. He needs to resign. Nobody listens to him anymore. He's an embarrassment, and his advice has become all a bunch of crap.
DJ Exclusive, how you doing, man?
I'm here, brother. This old age is catching up to me.
You look like when we came back from that clip, you look like I ain't got time for this morning. I ain't got time for this foolishness this morning because Dr. Fauci didn't say nothing about there's no attack on Christmas, man. And that's what they're gearing up for here. Every year about this time, they come up with something to say that there's an attack on Christmas. Here is what Dr. Fauci actually said on CBS, and then he later repeated on CNN.
Gather for Christmas, or it's just too soon to tell?
Just too soon to tell. We've just got to concentrating on continuing to get those numbers down and not try to jump ahead by weeks or months.
I was asked to predict what the state of the pandemic would be when we get to December. And my response was, that's really dependent on us. It's difficult to predict, but the one thing we do have within our power to do is to make sure that there are less and less cases, and that diminishing slope that's going down continues to go down. And the way we can do that is by getting more and more people vaccinated. That was the point that I was making, not that you're not going to be able to spend Christmas with your family. I certainly am, that's for sure.
Dr. Fauci ain't got time for this no more.
I'm sorry. That just took me off guard. It just ended right there. It's like, I'm not saying that you won't be able to. I am. Girl, I'm vaccinated. That's what he said, basically.
Exactly. He said he's going to spend time with his family at Christmas because he knows everybody that's there going to be vaccinated. And nowhere in either one of those clips from CBS. And I know, here's the thing. Pointing out this is something my dear friend Michael Brooks taught me. He said pointing out the hypocrisy is actually wasting your time because they know they're being hypocritical. Fox News knows that they're lying. They're being scripted to lie. They're all running. They're actors. Fox News are literally actors who read their scripts every single morning. They don't mean a single thing that they say, so they know that they're lying. The question is the problem is that here's one of the top voices in this pandemic having to respond to an entire media outlet because they decided to just twist his words, didn't give a damn that they were lying, and they just misrepresented it. And here's the thing. It's not that doesn't happen every day. It does. It's the fact that they're doing it with the pandemic and people are dying. Jay.
Absolutely right. You're right, Ben. And I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I'm wondering, and I probably already know the answer. He's probably gone through more during this pandemic than he was during the AIDS crisis pandemic going back then. So I know this man has to be tired, y'all. I know this man is tired, but he is still fighting. This man has been fighting for years.
That's right.
For years. But it's just crazy that they'll try to flip this stuff. And like you said, it happens every holiday season. What they'll try to do is pull on the heartstrings is because now they're going to cancel Christmas. There's going to be no Thanksgiving. There's going to be no Halloween because Dr. Fauci says you won't be able to spend Christmas with your family because you're not vaccinated. She didn't say any of that at all. So it's just crazy that they just pick the holidays, and that's when they start doing all of this stuff to try to start swaying this vote and doing all this other stuff. So, but I digress.
I want to read. I want to read some emails that were exchanged. These were sent over to us by our producer, and they're emails between communications between staffers, and it pertains not only to Joe Manchin but also Kyrsten Sinema. And the first email is from Jeff Gertz, and this is just recent, October 5th. He said, "Hey everyone. You may already be aware of this, but yesterday afternoon at the leadership meeting, my boss volunteered to lead a Democratic leadership statement on the incident in Arizona where some protesters followed Senator Sinema into a woman's restroom. Here's the draft we put together. The idea was that we do this jointly as Democratic leaders. We'd take care of pressing send to our press list. Could you all please take a look and tell me if you're willing to sign on? Happy to consider any edits as well. And this is the joint statement. This is what they are. Now, while everything else is going on, this is what the leadership and some of the staffers of the senators, this is what they're working on. And this is what it says, quote, protest are one of the most powerful tools for a vibrant democracy. That is why why the right to peacefully assemble and the right to exercise freedom of speech are enshrined in the First Amendment to the Constitution, and we are committed to fiercely protecting those rights. Following someone in the bathroom and filming the encounter is plainly inappropriate and unacceptable and crosses a clear line. What happened in that video was a violation of Senator Sinema's privacy that has no place in our public discourse, and we resolutely condemn it." James, you've been here with us the whole time. Kyrsten Sinema, who took so much joy in ensuring that workers didn't get $15 an hour, that she did a whole ass curtsy on the Senate floor, right? She got so much joy from that. And she's getting so much joy from upholding the filibuster and protecting the Republican Party. And now here are some of the staffers of Democrats fighting on her behalf instead of behalf of the people who were protesting her. Not surprising, but this is all one big show, man. It's not just Republicans we're fighting against.
This is why I stayed away from politics to begin with. Is because the thing of it all is that we think that we are fighting with the Republicans. No, it's the whole political party, man. Democrats, political, everybody. I mean, GOP, everybody. It's everybody. Everybody's crooked. That's always what I was taught by my family, and that's always what I believe, and it still is to this day. Because most times we think Republicans are the worst thing out there. No, Democrats are 10 times worse. As we see, always.
And Tim Black is back, brother. How you doing, man? DJ Exclusive on the screen.
Good morning, sir.
DJ Exclusive, hey, you got Tim Black on here with us. Tim Black, I want to toss it to you because in this fight, you know, you pointed out that they may be a proxy, but it's not Republicans that's stopping voting rights. It's Democrats. It's not Republicans who are stopping any progress on protecting a woman's body through legislation. They got to overcome the filibuster. Those are Democrats in the way. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, man, you know, I've been kind of straying away from this type of coverage, man, for the same reasons as as a good DJ there, man, because of my frustration with the Democratic Party, man. But I'll tell you this: when I realized that they were initially at $6 trillion, and that the Democrats negotiated against themselves to bring it down to $3.5 trillion. And now they want to take it even lower. And remember, this is all Democrats, as you pointed out. I think it becomes pretty evident, brother, they're going to have a hard time in 2022. That's and right. No amount of boogeyman, no amounts of boogeyman fear tactics are going to get people excited. If you can't get it done when you have the whole table, you have the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and you're not moving the needle for working people, I don't see how you get people excited to come out and defeat what could be another run or even 2024 when there could be another Donald Trump or something even worse, brother. So I'm with you on this. I'm sure we see eye to eye on the fact that Democratic Party has to do a better job. And right now, it's showing. It's showing that they're in the hands of the donors, in the hands of the lobbyists. I think there's at least 1,500 pharmaceutical lobbyists on Capitol Hill. And we're talking about Joe Manchin, whose state is one of the third poorest state in the United States. And what is it? The earned income, the capita is some crazy number like 22,000. New York is 40. So the people of West Virginia don't support this. And what it's pointing out is that the Democrats and Joe Manchin's cinema, that's donors talking. That's not them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. Because they're not just donating. They're not just donating to Republicans. The rich aren't. They're too smart. They're not just. Y'all think Michael Bloomberg and Jeff Bezos are only donating to Republicans? You think these pharmaceutical companies are only donating to Republicans? You think these police unions? Anyway, the problem is that they all are bought and paid for, and the people, the American people, are the ones who have to suffer over and over and over again. And it does. I'm honest with you guys. It feels like kabuki theater. And if we can't call a thing, then we're fooling ourselves, because if we're not going to get our voting rights, what you think they're going to do on reparations, Tim?
Oh man. It doesn't look good, my brother. And this is the reason why I've been stressing so much about reparations in the Black agenda. It's not the same thing to say you want to hold Democrats accountable. You have to push for policies that matter for those most least enfranchised or disenfranchised in our country. That would be Black Americans. So if we can't get them to move on this, and people talk about the popularity of policies, I try to tell them, man, it's about what I will. Where's the will? That we didn't decide that we wanted to go into Iraq or Afghanistan. I don't know about you, Ben, but I didn't get a vote. So
that's right.
Let's not talk about what we have the will to do. We need to talk about what the will is of the Democratic Party. And right now, it's very plain to see that the will is not with the needs of the people. And if I could go a little bit further, I would just say, those who say that reparations is not a winning policy, well, slavery wasn't either when you talk to Black people. Black people wanted that ended a long time before it was ended. So which side you want to be on? The side of redemption or the side that continues this? Don't you want your children to live in a world where people have equality? And then we can move on. Then we can move on to Medicare for all. Then we can move on to Green New Deal. Then we can move on to erase student debt. But don't tell me you care about health care so much when you don't care about the fact that when our people are sick, the doctors don't believe us.
That's right.
Money ain't going. So these policies ain't gonna change everything, brother. Don't tell me you're gonna erase my student debt when we're not getting called back for jobs because our names sound Black. Or don't tell us you care about erasing student debt when at the end of the day, average college graduate makes less than the average white high school dropout. See, these policies aren't gonna change everything, and this is why I've been screaming. All my hair fell out, Ben. I've been talking. I've been yelling. I've been trying to tell them it's about something more important than myself. And they don't hear me, though.
Bro, you and me both have lost our hair trying to shout it from the rooftops. Go ahead, Jay.
Man, you done made me about pour my coffee out all over this floor over here, Brother Tim. God dang, you done said too many words over there today.
In too short of a time. Listen, Tim, I don't know how much time you have. We got another segment coming up at 9 o'clock. We're going to be joined by Brother Pascal from the Pascal Show. You're more than welcome to hang out if you can. If you can, so let's go to a break, James. Take us to a quick break. When we come back, like it or not, Tim Black is going to stay with us, and Pascal from the Pascal Show is going to join us. And we got a lot to cover. We got to talk about OAN, One American Network, who is a far right-wing media outlet that would not exist today if not for AT&T. We'll talk about that in Like It or Not. DJ Exclusive is in your hands.
Good morning, everybody. Officially, y'all having a good morning so far, man. If you have not already grabbed your coffee, drink, whatever it is you need. Good morning, going, y'all. We'll be back with Like It or Not. Good morning, everybody.
Thinking love is just a waste of time. The higher that I'm hoping, the quicker that I fall. And I guess I want it to be easy, but it's never ever easy. I always end up let down. Oh, take all my love, this is tragic. I could replace it with flashing. Baby, that might be fine.
Good morning, everybody. Again, y'all make sure y'all grab your tea, your coffee, your drink, whatever it is you need. And don't forget, Friday, it is going down. Friday, it is going down. Patron party, 80s, 90s patron party. At that, you do not want to miss it. But if you have not already, go ahead and become a member. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot. Patreon.com/LikeItOrNot. Or Patreon.com/TheBeat. So don't miss it, y'all. Good morning, everybody. Shout out Savage Sweetheart. Yes. It was just a rough morning getting motivated and getting up because my leg is hurting and everything. So I'm feeling like an old man this morning. Shoot the Dragon, thank you for your super chat. She says, Bub Ben, thank you for the show, especially Bubba on day off. I even love your jokes. Sending money through Outlook. Outlook Dodge you down under hit super. Thank you, Shoot the Dragon. I love you. Sweet Dingo. Good morning. Sweet Dingo. Sweet Indigo. 45. Good morning, Bubba. Have a great day. Thank you, sister. I love you, mean it. And thank you for your super chat as well, too. Mama, good morning, Mama and Dad. I love y'all, mean it. Nicole, Hal, good morning. Yes, I got mine over here, too. I had to make sure that before I jumped on, I'm like, let me get coffee. I got to get coffee. Got to. The Pioneer, good morning, y'all. Courtney, good morning. I need to pick this up now. Here we go. Why is somebody trying to call me like while I'm on the show? That is so rude.
Don't got no heart, I got an icebox. Brand new rolling, swipe at the G-Shock. Moving slowly, I know the street hype. No more double, go ahead and detox.
Nat, hey, good morning, sister. Brother Chuck Diesel, good morning. Shout out Brother Letitia as well, too. Courtney, the SLP, good morning, y'all. Tiger, what's going on? Good morning.
No soldiers. Bad past never left my mind, it's taking over. No, I should have died, that's why it's hard to stay sober. Glad to see the sun, but my heart.
Leroy, now good morning. Alicia, what's going on, Alicia? Uneasy, good morning. Sun Queen, Melanie Dennis, good morning.
Tears, no more tissue. Ooh, just some hood baby with some issues. Hood baby from the struggle.
Laura Strada, good morning.
Glad we made it though. I'm just glad we made it though.
XOXXO Bob, good morning to you.
Long time had a hustle. Glad we made it though.
Sun Queen, good morning. Shay, good morning.
Pull up in that rain, see me ballin'.
Brother William Moore, good morning.
It's like I'm hardin'. Either they love me or I'm a target.
Real quick, I want to go ahead and get these new patron subscribers and new Twitch members named off. A.R. Walker, good morning. Mars Reese, good morning, sister. Hope you're doing well. All right, real quick, we can get these read off, all right? New patron subscribers. We have Rosie B. Thank you, Rosie. Good morning to you. Let's do new Twitch subscribers. We have Old School Hype. Welcome, Circuit Overlord, subscribe with Prime. Welcome, Old School Hype. Gifted 10 community subscriptions and another directly to John F. May drop out. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate you. We have the Chicken Fried Dragon who gifted a 3-month subscription to TYT. All right, Chicken Fried Dragon, we appreciate you. So again, she gifted a 3-month subscription to TYT, Ravy Vanna, and Bleep Blown Ben. Jam Tune gifted a subscription to Truth the Dragon and Squiddy Deer. And these glasses really don't work out, by the way. Circuit Overlord gifted a subscription to Marcus for Left Flank Vets. Shout out to Marcus and Circuit Overlord. And Titan Gauge, one bit. We appreciate y'all and thank y'all to all new and true subscribers as well, too. If you're not already, patreon.com/likeItOrNot, patreon.com/likeItOrNot, or patreon.com/the BPD show. Patreon party tomorrow night. Don't want to miss it. Ken M says, wow, big up Ben and Dr. I'm sorry. My gosh, bro. Whew. Ken M says, wow, big up Ben and Mr. Black. And Afropuff says, Bernie is like, look, Joe, your constituents don't have any teeth, damn it. What the? I freaking hate y'all. So, you already know. So here we go, y'all. It's time for Like It or Not. Yeah. I don't even know what version I played. We'll see.
Y'all know what time it is. Good morning, y'all.
Looks like y'all got the remix for free.
The remix, whatever it is you need. It's time for Like It or Not, y'all. 9 a.m. to 10:30, yeah. Like It or Not is on your channel, yeah. Politics and culture is we change scan like we're supposed to, yeah. Interviews and all the news, we get to choose what gets the views. Like It or Not, with Queen Azor, it's starting now, so stick around.
Like it or not, it's going down.
That boy can sing.
Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, Rebecca Azor.
is coming.
Y'all really be going crazy in the chat room for this song.
You know she got a good story for you. Oh, Benjamin, that's my dog. This is his show. He's a politics pro. I am your DJ. DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, y'all stick around. Oh, like it or not.
My mama talking about she slow rolling, she wanna dance. Mama, go to sleep.
Like it or not, it's about to go down.
Like It or Not with Benjamin Dixon starts now.
Good morning. All this bald headedness on the screen, all this glare that got me this sock, so I had to stop for a minute. I don't even know where I was.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth
and not care who doesn't like it.
James, I can't stand you, man. But here's the thing. If the chat room don't be going crazy when you play that old no, it ain't raggedy. It ain't raggedy. But boy, you be in there harmonizing with the harmonizing.
What you about to say about my song? So keep in mind I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about
now keep in mind I also asked you to send it to me. Now let me stop flexing because I was flexing there.
You did.
I asked you to send it to me so I could put a verse on it.
I'm supposed to send it like 3 people and I have forgotten.
The chat room be going crazy over that song.
No.
Good morning, gentlemen. We have our guest, Tim Black, is back with us, and we're joined by our brother Pascal from the Pascal Show. We are 4 bald men. What's going on, gentlemen?
Real talk, I think everybody, all the viewers are about to see the future because we got all these literally, I feel like we just are like the 4 horsemen right now. The 4 horsemen of bald men. They can see the future right now with all of our 5 heads going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot.
Only thing we need to do now is bring Dwayne and David on the screen, and we got the black super vulture.
Mostly black. Mostly black.
Oh, God.
Right. And David mostly has his hair. He's not completely bald yet. Tim Black, what's going on, man?
Hey, nice to meet you, brother Tim Black. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well, brother. Pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Well, gentlemen, we have the opportunity here to do whatever we like. We have plenty of news. We have plenty of politics. But I want to start with the conversation about the vaccine. I want to start, and I'm throwing an audible, guys. I'm sorry. I know in the background they're going to be like, damn it, Ben. Here we go again. Yes,
they're all scrambling in the background.
Shuri from Black Panther. The character in the comic book is the smartest character in the entire Marvel universe. Letitia Wright, who I'm a fan of, I can't even front. I loved her in the Black Mirror episode. Love her as Shuri, but she's taken a lot of heat this morning because she allegedly has been making a lot of anti-vaccination comments on the set of Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever. Let's just go around the room. One, did you hear about it? And what are some of your initial thoughts? Because I know all of us, I'm pretty sure all of us at least are fans of Black Panther and know what's going on a little bit. Let's start with you, Brother Pascal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about her stances on the vaccines and all that. We've covered it a while ago, last year. When she was expressing some serious concerns about getting the poke or not, and I just thought maybe somebody had maybe educated her or told her about something, or that she just moved on from it. But it sounds like she's sticking to her laurels and standing her ground when it comes to this situation. It is surprising, though, because if you really think about it, aren't most movie sets right now requiring that as they're requiring a vaccination before you can even step on set, because they don't want to cause an outbreak. So for me, it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying?
And he's absolutely right. And they're filming at Tyler Perry Studios down the street. And before you can even walk on that set, you have to be vaccinated, literally. Yeah. So it's the same thing. Like Pascal said, she was spewing the same stuff last year, and now here it is. I thought it was the same thing. I thought it's cleared up. I thought it was gone, and now here we are. She's back at it again.
You know, real quick, the one thing that doesn't make any sense to me is obviously there's been speculation that she's supposed to be taking over as Black Panther, not like actually Black. Maybe, I don't know. Apparently, that's what that's what the streets are saying, that she's going to be taking on the crown of Black Panther. So how is she even able to get on set to say whatever she wants to say if she's spouting out some anti-vaccine rhetoric? How is she even able to get on set? Are they like, I don't know. Are they sneaking her in through the back door of Tyler Perry Studios? Like, how does that work?
Hey, man.
How does that work?
If she's a star, she gets some. If she's a star, they probably are breaking some rules for her. Tim, I don't know if you're following this, man, but it intersects with all the craziness we're seeing around the vaccine in general.
Yeah, you know, I'm not following her specifically. I'm not sure about her background, and unfortunately, I'm not tuned in. I work too much, Pascal, to follow her. You know what I'm saying? I'm always doing something related to the job, trying to keep things afloat. But I will say this, man. The hesitancy that I hear out there with folks, I understand, I respect it. But it's starting to sound a lot like you're in a bad marriage and you think the wife may be trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And in this case, it would be like the husband.
Wow, that went. I didn't know we were going down that route, but okay.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying? It's like
an abusive relationship.
To this level, guys. It's like you can't eat the food. You sleep with one eye open. I mean, this is the paranoia level that people are at. You know, I'm still having a hard time, like really digesting, brothers. What's the difference between this vaccine and other vaccines that you have to take to like attend school? Like tetanus shots and other things we had to take. I remember those days. So they haven't changed. And I understand the hesitancy, but you do have a choice, sister. You could leave that job for someone else. And I hate to say it, but that is an option. It's not like you have to be there. It reminds me of the Five doing the same thing. These guys on the Fox News, when 90% of their newsroom are taking the jab, they're still telling their audiences how horrible, you know, this idea of taking the jab is. But they took it to keep their jobs, but they're telling their audience by effect that they shouldn't get it.
Mm-hmm. A couple of notes here. So the vaccine isn't required on all sets, but they are required on a whole lot of sets. One of my neighbors is an E-lister. You know, you have A-listers. He's A, B, C, D, E-lister. And he has to, you know, in order to get on a set, he has to prove a religious exemption to the vaccine. So there are a lot of hurdles in the industry. So Pascal, that does make the question jump to my mind, like how is she at the top of the ticket here if they have these type of mandates? But that said, Tim, it's a level of paranoia, exactly what you're saying, that extends to how people are showing up in public, how people are attacking parents. This is how ridiculous it is. I want to shift to another video. This is a video of a woman. I want you to drill down on the specifics here. She is attacking a mother because the mother has a mask on her daughter. They're at an event. This is the madness. We are dealing with people who are so paranoid and so far gone in this pandemic that they are now actively attacking other people who are doing the things that are going to keep us alive, gentlemen. It is such an absurdity that it's hard to actually put it into words, but it's happening so many times. These incidents of parents getting attacked has escalated so much that there's now an investigation into it. Let's take a look at this footage and we'll unpack it from there.
You should choose what goes on your child's face and in your child's body. This is rape. Yeah, this is rape. They're trying to rape our children with this poison. They're going to rape their lives away.
Masking children is child abuse.
It is.
You mask your child, you're a child abuser.
Ron DeSantis even admitted. Look at the 1918 Spanish flu. They didn't die of Spanish flu. They died of bacteria pneumonia. It's even on the NIH government website. Look it up. They want your children.
It's also
No, it isn't. Telling the children the truth is encrypted. They've been propaganda.
Lions, not sheep.
Yeah.
Lions, not sheep.
He's going to be traumatized because you put that mask on him and you don't let him breathe freely. You're traumatized.
That's my choice.
Yeah, well,
that's my choice. You better respect my choice.
You're propagandized. You're not being told the truth. You're scaring your kid by yelling. You're scaring your kid by yelling. Huh?
That's why I had a hard time explaining what we were getting ready to see. It's no longer a question of do they have a right over their body. It's a question of do they have a right over our bodies and our right to get the vaccine and to wear masks. Let's just go in order. Tim, what do you think?
Well, that lady, when she said this is raping your children, that sister is a whole fool. Okay, it's nowhere in the vicinity. I don't know where that came from. We're talking about gaslighting. That's the epitome of gaslighting. Look that up in the dictionary. It should be a picture of that white woman saying that. That's crazy. So you can homeschool your child. No one's got a problem with that. Fine, take your child out of school, teach them any kooky religious beliefs, worship snakes, objects, whatever. You know, people do whatever. You know, people say, this is my child and I will raise the child. But put a mask. You don't know why this mother has a mask on her child. Her child could have the cooties. The child can have anything. You don't know what the reason is, and how is it any of your business? Like, I'm a person, like, you know, I'm from the hood, man, so I don't approach people telling them what to wear on their face. At any point, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just the epitome of privilege, and they need to watch it. Tucker Carlson gonna get them stomped out.
That's
Pascal, Tucker Carlson gonna get them stumped out. Truest statement I've ever heard. What do you think, brother?
You know, honestly, they got me at rape. I mean, he basically. I'm echoing basically the same thing that Tim just said, but I mean, rape? Like, really? Like that's your best. That's your best example of what we're doing to protect our children, to protect ourselves. I mean, here it is, y'all. Putting on a mask is not going to kill anybody. Getting yourself vaccinated ain't going to kill nobody. What you want to do, whether to put on a mask on your children, that's your business, and it should be your business. There should not be any type of harassment of people picking up their children from school and following them to their car,
man,
just to try to tell them something that they're not going to change. They're not going to change their mind on it, y'all. I mean, period. Why waste your time on this? It's a waste of rape. Like, really? Come on, y'all. Come on. Come with facts. Come with something.
That's real.
Stupid.
Now, this looks like they were just getting out of school. The kids were.
Yeah.
So y'all were waiting to ambush all these parents and their children after they getting out of school after a long day. The kids already gonna be unsettled. The rape part did get me too, but what really did it for me when she came up in the lady's face and she was really close, and she wouldn't have been allowed to get that close. Not with my kids around. And and not saying that I'm sorry, I don't hit women, but if my sister was there, I would have said, sis, you'll handle that, please? Because that is right hook. It twisted tea time. But that is so disrespectful, brother. I mean, it's very disrespectful, but I can't be surprised because it is Florida, and she dead ass quoted DeSantis. Y'all heard it. Everyone heard it.
She did. Ron DeSantis, she cited Ron DeSantis as her example, her appeal to authority was Ron DeSantis, who was the village idiot of the state of Florida, who happened to make his way to the governor's mansion. But there he is creating the excuses that these people need to run out into the streets. Here's something I want to ask y'all. Do you notice how they demand more patience with their anti-vax than they give us wearing masks in public? You see how have you seen anybody run up to somebody unvaccinated and say, get vaccinated, in a protest? Like, no, we're seeing the exact opposite. That's the absurdity of it. Tim.
That's an excellent point, my brother. Yeah. I'm not seeing, like I said, I've been in places and I'll notice there'll be a person without a mask on. I'll just keep my distance. Like, it's not my job to police individuals and approach them and confront them individually. If the establishment's not going to do it, I got a decision to make. Do I want to shop here? Do I feel comfortable? If I don't, I leave. That's just how it works. They can have a multitude of reasons why, whatever. And maybe they do have an exemption. I don't know. Not my business. But what we're seeing now is an overreaction. What we're seeing now is an entitlement to the highest order of folks who want to dictate how we interact with this. Now, very clear, guys. Hey, I was hesitant to get the jab. I really was, but I had to make a decision. So did my wife. We chose to do it. Now, I'm not going to force anyone else to do it. I'm just saying what my decision-making process was. I said, well, you know what? This is the best option for us at the moment. That's what we're going to go with, and go with God. And that goes for everyone else out there. We're not saying we're going to infringe on people's rights. We're not here to shame you, but I hate to, daggone it, you ain't going to shame us, and you ain't going to infringe on our rights.
Yeah. Benjamin, can you do me a favor? Can you do that? Get vaccinated again. Just do that one more. Can you do that one more time? Can you do that?
It's the preacher boy thing. No, you can't do it on demand. It might come back up. It probably will come up in the after party. Patreon.com/like it or die. Go ahead, Pascal.
You're welcome. So let me. Look, I just want to point something out. Imagine this type of energy towards something that we all cared about. Imagine if we were all together protesting about things that we really need in this world, not trivial crap like, vaccination and masks, wearing masks for our, putting masks on our children and everything. Just imagine if we put that much passion and energy as a group towards something that really mattered. We could really change the world. This is a waste of time. All this stuff that we're seeing right here is an absolute waste of time. They should be taking their time to look at something that really does matter. The social injustices that go on in the world, maybe some health care for all. I mean, there's so many other things that they could be talking about, getting out and demonstrating over, and they're wasting their time and putting on a mask on their children, rape.
Right.
I ain't got time for this, y'all. I just don't. And I keep looking at it, I'm like, man, that is some energy. That is some really good energy. I mean, it's ignorant energy, but it's really good. The possibility of using that energy for good, not for bad.
I want to, DJ Exclusive, jump in there. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead, Tim.
I understand where you're coming from, Pascal, but I'll say, man, I've been paranoid to getting that jab a little bit too, and I get a little, feeling here, there, and I'm like, okay, everything cool. I didn't get the Johnson & Johnsons, but I got one of, I don't know what, exactly what's in it. So I'm not saying that people can't have some type of trepidation, brother, but the bottom line is they care more about themselves than they care about us, brother. They ain't gonna go out in the street and protest for something we care about. You know what I'm saying? There's some selfish mugs. So that's what it is. And you're right. It would be great if we could all, circle the wagons and for Voltron on an issue such as reparations or Black Agenda. I would love for them to do that. I'm down for it. I'm not moving off my square, Ben. That's what I'm here for. Black people got 1/10 the wealth of average white family. Average black family worth 1/10 the wealth of the average white family. That's not going to change by putting on a mask or not putting on a mask, but I prefer for you to put on a mask.
Damn right. If they don't, if they don't want to put on a mask, okay, you don't want to get the vaccine. Well then, Dwayne. Oh man, I'd be in the zone sometimes. I'd be like ready to just let it flow and let it free fly style.
He'd be ready. He's so ready.
I didn't give my producer enough time that time, but I think we might be ready at this point. If you don't want to get the vaccine, it's your choice. But the way these things are looking, man, the 99% of the people in the hospital who are dying from COVID.
Look, Dwayne's juggling. I gave it to him, but Dwayne's juggling things.
Yeah. Let me know when you got it, Dwayne. And in the meantime,
I'm not going to get the vaccine. Then die. What do you want me to do, argue with you? I'm not on the debate team. This isn't mock trial. Aren't you worried about the side effects? I'm worried about the disease. Well, they're tracking you through the microchip. They're tracking you through the phone you're watching this on. Get the vaccine.
All right, listen, Pascal, I know we only got you for a few more minutes. I love that guy. I know we only have you for a few more minutes, but I want us, all four of us on the screen, each do independent media, as evidenced by the fact that we're on the screen with you now. I want to cover the story of one American news network, that it has been obtained information by Reuters. Reuters has obtained information from a court proceeding that shows us that the primary funding for this far right, this ultra conservative, pro-Trump, pro-January 6th, pro-big lie media network was funded by contracts with AT&T and DirecTV. And in the proceedings, the court proceedings that was obtained by Reuters, in it, it clearly stated, the attorneys for OAN clearly stated that if not for those contracts, their network would not exist. Now, I just dropped a clip in our Slack because I just kind of want people to see what we're dealing with when we're talking about one American news network. We're talking about people who squarely align with white supremacy, with the big lie, with the January 6ers, with the thin blue line, with the police force. These are the people who sided with Derek Chauvin over George Floyd. And this is being brought to us by AT&T and DirecTV, according to documents obtained by Reuters. If we have that clip, I want us to run it. And the person that you're going to see in this clip is, his name is Jack Posobiec, or Posobiec, however you pronounce this guy. He is one of the leading alt-right, proudly fascist voices on the far right. And he is here in a clip promoting the January 6th incident. Let's take a look at it from One American News Network.
The whole country is talking about the events of January 6th. Was it a protest? Was it a rally? Was it a riot? One American News doesn't need to ask that question because we were there when it happened. Join us as we bring you eyewitness testimony in real time from those who were on the ground to see this historic day and these historic events take place. One American News investigates inside January 6th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
So basically, it's a snitching show because you about to give away all the news. Let's get it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. About to snitch on all y'all.
Hey, James, I didn't say that they were particularly smart in terms of politics, but they are smart in terms of money. Because Tim, you know how hard this game is, bro. Could you have not used an influx of cash from AT&T to sustain Tim Black at night?
I still could. No, yeah, it's an uphill battle, as you know, Ben. You know, we're always looking for ways to expand. And kudos to you for doing what you're doing, brother, and being able to make some moves. And that's very important to do that because in order to compete, that's part of the reason why the right is growing is because they're getting money. Recently, Dr. Adolph Reed, he was in an interview with I think it was Katie Harper or someone, and he was expressing how there's been an influx of cash from the right to left influencers. Yeah, left influencers are getting paid under the table by the right, approaching them with money. So when we say, oh, we notice a tilt towards the right, it ain't just OAN, my brother. It's others as well. We come with the smoke for them because that's what it is.
Yes, dude. Tim trying to take me back to the streets, man. I've been trying to stay away from them Twitter streets. He tried to bring me back. Pascal, what do you think about OAN getting? I mean, and here's the context. A little more context here. So how it happened was the creators of OAN had a freestanding relationship with AT&T. AT&T, allegedly, according to these documents obtained by Reuters, stated that they wanted more conservative programming, and all they had, listen to this, they said all they had was Fox News. As if Fox News isn't at the top of the mountain of Propaganda Hill, right? And they said, according to Reuters documents that they obtained from court proceedings, where the attorneys for OAN were making it clear that they would not have existed without AT&T, The reason they existed in the first place was because they came to them. AT&T executives came to them, the owners, and said, we need another conservative network. And they got the contracts.
Wow.
Pascal.
For me, because we've been covering stuff like obviously all of us, Tim Black's show, Like It or Not, my show as well. We've been covering the things that were going on in the 6. And for me, it still just blows my mind. I'm sorry, I have to boil it down to just the foundation of it all, that this whole thing even actually went down, that the 6 actually went down. What blows my mind even more is that there are news media outlets that are still trying to push a certain narrative like nothing happened, like they did no wrong. It's just so asinine to me. I mean, for me, it's like, make this make sense. But what's so funny is that that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it make sense. The powers that be at AT&T are going, hey, OAN, come here. We'll throw you a whole bunch of bags, secure the bags, baby, make the monies, and try to make this make sense. Make the math right. To me,
the math ain't mathin', baby.
Math ain't mathin' to me,
baby.
But hey, as soon as you put the couple zeros at the end of that check, everything makes sense suddenly, right? So, money does a lot of. Money is an amazing energy that can change somebody's trajectory real quick, and we see this clear as day. That there are people out here, media outlets out here, that are willing to do anything to secure them bags. It's sad to me. It's really, really sad. But here it is, though. Surprise! I don't watch that kind of stuff. I don't watch that network. Why? Because I know that channel, that network is corrupt. And Fox News, in my personal opinion, is corrupt. So I don't waste my time with this ish. To me, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about them getting this check. Fox News is the same thing. They get paid from some higher entity, and then they're told what to spit out. Those are hired actors on camera. You see what I'm saying? Mainstream media is basically hired actors that just talk like this. This is CNN. I mean, come on. That's why independent media. That's why independent media is crucial nowadays. This is why a channel like this, Tim Black's show, shameless plug, my show, is important nowadays more than ever, because you're getting the real news, you're getting the real facts, and you're getting real opinions, not just something that was written by some script writers and they're just reading off of a teleprompter. No offense, but that's what we see every single live long day on mainstream media right now.
That's right.
Yeah, I want people to know, coming on the Ben Dixon Show, they told me some questions that might be asked, a couple of them, but this been free will and ain't nobody telling us what to say. Ben don't know what kind of crazy stuff I'm going to say today. He don't know.
Hey,
so
let's play. Let's play that game. I got to
Here we go.
We got. We got some distinguished guests today, so I was going to say let's play that game because we are free, right? We 4 free black men on the show. We have free black women on the show. We have free non-gender conforming. We have we say what has to be said, and that comes at a cost. Here's the cost. James, you could attest to the cost. Hell, all of y'all could attest to the cost. We produce this content with every dime that we can scrape up and every patron that supports us, right? And we're out here speaking truth to power, unapologetically. Tim, I have no idea what you want to say, what you can say, what you might say. Have your way. That said, the kind of platform that we have is not what the powerful are looking for. Because if they were looking for it, they would be pouring money into it because they know these platforms are here. Tim, you've been on, who is that? What's that guy? Dr. Phil, right? You've had major viral videos. They know your work. They know what's going over there at the Pascal show. They sure as hell know what's going over here at the Benjamin Dixon show, and like it or not, right? But you're not going to see these people write checks. And here, let me give you this last bit of context. There's a lot to this story. They do not have, OAN does not have significant ad revenue. Now, just saying that to the three of you on the screen, you already know how the hell, how Sway, how are they able? It's because they are not being paid for their performance. They're being subsidized by AT&T. This is not an ad revenue split. No, this is AT&T literally saying, here, we're going to pay you to produce this propaganda. And not only that, they considered, watch this, the reason they did this, according to the documents obtained by Reuters from the court proceedings in the lawsuit involving OAN, the reason is because AT&T stated that they believe that there were 7 liberal left-leaning outlets and only 1 conservative outlet in Fox News. They considered MSNBC to be liberal or progressive. They considered CNN to be progressive. They considered all the other ones in that echo chamber to be progressive. And that's why they're subsidizing right-wing conspiracy theories. Gentlemen, I leave the floor to you, whoever wants to talk.
Well, I'll take a stab at this. That's nonsense. 7 progressives, 7 progressive entities. What entities? Those people are center, if not to the right, brother. Come on now. So I hear this all the time, and isn't it offensive, brother, when they say that like a CNN is corporate. Like they're gonna play both sides. That's what they do. They play both sides, but they're both center organizations. MSNBC pretty much center. You got a couple individuals occasionally, from time to time they'll say things of a progressive tone, but at the end of the day, they're running by advertisers. They're running by the same type of corporate structures that other news entities are. So look, independent media is the only place. So I don't know what AT&T is saying here. Look, you want to support right-wing propaganda? At least you can do is own it and say that's what we want to promote. That's what you're doing. You're doing the bidding of those right-wingers out there, those extremists. They're the ones that are doing that radicalization. You want to de-radicalize somebody, get them off of OAN. Get them off Fox News. That's where it's happening. Notice no one wants to de-radicalize brothers in the hood. No one wants to de-radicalize Bloods and Crips or gangster disciples. No one wants to de-radicalize them. So anyway, it's just something that came to mind. So no, nonsense. They want to push their agenda, and that's what they're doing. That's why they're funding it.
Yeah, and then let's not forget either that DirecTV is part of AT&T. AT&T part of DirecTV. This is it's a money grab. So why not make a new network so we can get all these right-wing people and conservative to watch this network, and we can build money off of it and make money. So y'all build this network out, we'll fund it and put it on DirecTV and any other network. Like, I've never heard of this network because this sure as hell is not on my TV at all. So that's cool. But why not do that so they can build out, make more money? Give them money, we make money by viewers. Simple as that. Because what he said, y'all only claimed there was only one Fox News. So then why not get they 10, 13 million viewers that they have over there, and let's bring some of them over here to this fake ass network. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, one ass network, I don't care. I forgot what it's called. Never mind. What he said, y'all, we say whatever the hell we want to.
Pascal, man, Pascal, I know you got to get out of here. Pascal, get the last word on this topic, man.
Okay. So what I find interesting, and then
also tell us what you got coming up on your show, because your show's coming up in about 20 minutes.
I got a laundry list of things that we're going to be talking about today. Here in a couple minutes. So be sure to tune in to the Pascal Show. I will be starting a little bit later than 9 a.m. Central Standard Time because I'm on this wonderful platform right now. But what I wanted to say really quick, one ass network. But one thing that I wanted to point out is that is it just me, or do I feel like there's a very strong conservative voice out there? The conservative narrative really is strong and prominent out here in these political streets. Okay. One thing that I've noticed is that why aren't progressive, liberal voices? I feel like the liberal voice, the progressive voice is still very small. Why aren't they not getting the support and the monies? Okay. That I feel like that most of these channels really do deserve, and networks. Let's talk about mainstream media too, right? I feel like, yes, we have CNN, right? We have MSNBC, but there's still such a prominent voice in the conservative realm that even when you go onto like these kind of platforms, like when you go onto YouTube's, to the tubes, right? There is such a prominent conservative voice and prominent conservative audience that I feel like what's another one? What's another? Where's Verizon? You know what I mean? Where's T-Mobile, Sprint? You know what I mean?
Who's gonna fund the opposition?
See what I'm saying? Who's gonna fund the voices that are speaking out here on in these political streets? Because right now, I feel like the most prominent voice that we see all the time is the conservative voice. We have a very diminishing, small, liberal voice that's out here, liberal, progressive voice that's out here. Why aren't we getting, not turning into puppets, but why are we not getting the funding and the respect and the acknowledgement that we actually deserve? I've noticed, just one thing. I've noticed that I see a lot of conservative channels, just for example, I don't mean to go off the beaten path here, so forgive me and bless me with this, guys. Grant me some grace on this. But
we got you.
One thing that doesn't make sense to me is that you see many platforms, liberal, very highly opinionated channels that are very strong, promising voices that suddenly get snuffed out. But these conservative shows that say the craziest stuff, Tucker Carlson, have no problem. They are surviving. They're billions of dollars, right? So the thing that I'm trying to make sense of all this is, why is it that there isn't the opposition? Why isn't there a prominent, stronger liberal voice, liberal progressive voice out here? Because it seems to me like there is an audience that is out here. We see it in the chat right now that wants to hear our thoughts and minds. Why is it not stronger?
So Pascal, I'm gonna hop in. I think I got two things on your point.
Come on,
come on
with it.
One,
you gotta identify yourself, brother.
That's
the voice of God.
Yeah, this is the fifth bald black guy. You just don't see me. So, so the first thing I think is because that liberal progressive message doesn't fit into the 1%'s plan. That 1% is all about that conservative message. I think the second thing is because if you look at the conservative right-wing message, they all on the same page. They all saying the same thing. On the other side, on the left progressive side, there's so many different factions. It's just so separated, so segregated, that splits that audience, and it makes it harder for there to be one concerted message. So
Dwayne, what you're basically saying is that the liberal voice, the progressive voice, and the progressive and liberal thought are not made of robots. We're not just speaking things that are by rote, because that's what you hear. Since Trump said this, therefore we got to say exactly what he says. I hear this all the time. I mean, still to this day.
No, absolutely. Okay. That's exactly what it is. But I think it's partly to the detriment of the left, because we can never get on the same page. Even though everybody is trying to do good, everybody is trying to do it in so many different ways, and we can't never get on the same page, and that's why we always getting beat up by the right. That's why their message is always front and center, because they got one message, and they all got the same talking points, and they just beating us over the head with it every single day.
I mean, folks, they really got folks out here thinking that wearing a mask is rape and children, right? That's how unified they are with their message. Pascal, actually, Tim, what time is your show today?
11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm way at night.
Okay, so I'm because they have hit on a subject that I actually want to discuss with you. No, because you opened up the Pandora's box, man.
I did.
We got that. We have an after party, and now in the after party, we literally do say what we want to say, and it's because we're saying it to our patrons, fellas. We're gonna cut off Act TVs for the after party today, because if Tim Black stays with me, we're gonna go in on all of those reasons, because there are concerted reasons why you see specific voices on the left that does have all the money and the ability to change a whole lot of things, but they don't pose a real threat to the oligarchs. Let's talk about that in the after party. Patreon.com. Yeah, patreon.com/like it or not. Tim Black, man, tell everybody before we cut the public show, and Pascal, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to do it first because I know you got to get out of here. Tell everybody how they can find you and where they can get the show in the next few minutes.
Yeah. In about 15 minutes-ish, I'll be live on The Pascal Show, youtube.com/The Pascal Show. Please go over there, and you can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, The Pascal Show, one word. That's where I'm going to be. That's where I post a lot of random stuff. So if you can't make it to the show, check out those other platforms. I'll be posting things over there as well.
Awesome. Hey, Brother Pascal, I know you got to get out of here. Go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Tim
Pascal.
Black, oh, boy.
Damn.
Here we go. Damn. Almost
I was going to tell you a time traveling joke, but you didn't like it. Never mind.
I'm done.
You got it?
Really?
You good?
Really?
Repeat it one more time.
Man, I was going to tell you the one. Did you hear about the one with the roof?
No. What about it?
Oh, see, never mind. It's over your head. Both of them already over your head.
Oh, see, I get it. Okay, now I get. Well, I got that one, but I got the
Pascal.
other one. 'Cause it went back in time.
Pascal. You didn't like it because he had already traveled in time to tell you that. But Pascal, when I give you your cue to go, you're supposed to run.
I know. I was trying to run, man. Dang,
don't worry, it ain't ever gonna work.
Man. Hey, brother Tim Black, let me tell you something. He's like, I will find you. Tim Black,
I will find
really
you.
Nice to meet you, my brother. I really do appreciate meeting you, man. Have a good day. Man,
Pascal, please go before he tells another dad joke.
Bubba needs Jesus, okay? He needs the blood of Jesus. Okay,
I'm going to pop up and call in. I'm going to tell the dad joke. That's all. I ain't going to even say nothing. I'm going to say, what happens when?
I dare you. All right, guys, stay blessed.
Challenge accepted. Hey, thank you, person.
Oh, my God. Okay, listen, I'm trying to run a professional operation here. I can't stand that, black folks. All right, Tim, help me bring this in. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can support you, and where they can watch your show tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, actually, Thursday is my day off, so we get a little break. But 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's the Tim Black Show. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 8 p.m. we have Pause with Tim Black. That's my new show where for about an hour we get really, really black, all the way black with it.
Oh,
nice.
Blackity black.
Tim, and Brother Tim, did I hear you say that Thursdays is your day off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is good. Did somebody out here get one, Brother Tim? Good job.
You see where I'm at? I'm working.
Right.
James. You better be glad I love you, man. He talking about me. This man, I
give you hell, man, every day.
Hey, because the fact of the matter is, listen, you never make a promise that you can't keep. Drew Hill taught me that, but I gave this man a day off, and he ain't been able to take it off since, man. Like, he's worked every day off since. And thank you to the people who have sent love donations. Like, you had to do love offering at church. Thank y'all for sending my brother some cash apps because he's been working on his day off. Tim, don't let me occupy the rest of your day off because I know, man, those things come few and far and in between, man. But what do you have coming up? What are you covering on your what are you working on right now?
Wow, man. Well, just like you, Ben, I cover the news cycle. But I've been really focusing on, you can count on Pause to be about reparations, a black agenda, other issues affecting black people, man, our lives, trying to better our lives, trying to even out this racial wealth gap. And if they focus on that a little bit more, we probably win more elections and might get more progressives in office. So I'm trying to do my part to push people in that direction.
Man, I'd love to come over whenever you have a spot for somebody to come in and chat, man. I'd love to have. And thank you for coming over here, man.
Absolutely.
It's been long overdue, but we want to have you back as often as you can. And if you can stay for a few minutes in this after party, we're going to have a real conversation where we'll take the limits off and talk about whatever. That said, I know we're 10 minutes early. James, let's do the after party a little bit early. let's transition here. Let's take a quick break. We're going to play some music, and we're going to cut off all the public streams. If you want to access, patreon.com/like it or not. Or if you're a patron of the Benjamin Dixon Show, patreon.com/the BPD Show. I want to thank our partners at Act TV, where they encourage you to do more than watch. We need to act. Act TV, where you can get all of our content. And we want to thank all of our producers who in the background have been saying in Slack, we must not care about them at all because they have yet to get a day off. So solidarity with the producers in the background, Dwayne and David. We can't do it without you. Solidarity with Rebecca, who actually is taking her day off, Queen Azor. We always respect you and appreciate you. You know what it is. And to Georgia Fort. The bigger this team gets, the more names I'm having to remember, and then that means there's more that I'm going to forget. James, take us to a quick break. When we come back, it's going to be the after party. Patreon.com/like it or not. We'll see you after this.
Y'all make sure that, oh, wait a minute, y'all can't stay tuned. After party coming up next, man. patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/the BPD Show. Get exclusive access to the patron parties, the after party, all the good content, everything, and more dad jokes. Yay! So thank y'all again for joining and tuning in. We greatly appreciate y'all, man. We're going to play a little music and get the morning going for you. Thank y'all. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/the BPD Show. Y'all stay tuned. And if we're not, y'all slide on over to Pascal Show as well, too. Let's get it.
All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Feeling me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.